and Instagram are just simply Chantay. I hope everyone hears me on my computer. Today is Wednesday, September 30th. It's the last day of September. We are like a month and some change away. I guess 34 days until election. And I'm going to get into that in a few. But I do want to address COVID because COVID is still here. So here we are. Globally, we have 33,874,283 cases of COVID-19. Yeah. The death toll on the global front is 1,012,894. The cases here in the U.S. is 7,229,723. So that's 7,229,723. The death toll in the U.S. is 206,905. We're almost at 210. Cases here, cases in the other countries, you see India has 6.2. That's crazy. Brazil has 4.8. Russia has 1.1 still. Colombia has 829,679. Peru has 811,768. Spain has 769,800. 188, and Argentina has 751,001, and Mexico has 743,206, which South Africa don't even round up in the top 10 because it's now been pushed back to 674,339. In Dominican Republic, you see they have 112,209. Panama has 112, 595, so they're neck and neck. Guatemala has about 91,000. Nigeria has 58,848. Guyana has 46,626. And Kenya has 38,529. In the West Indies, you see Haiti at 8,766. Jamaica, 6,482, which the numbers in Jamaica are crazy. You have Trinidad and Tobago at 4,531. You have Bahamas at 4,022. You have Guyana 2,894. You have Belize at 1,943. You have Barbados at 190 cases. St. Vincent at 64. Antigua at 101. Dominica at 30. St. Lucia at 27. Grenada still at 24, and St. Kitts is still at 90. And this is all on the Johns Hopkins website. I encourage you to go on the website, look at it yourself. These are not made up numbers. This is real shit. On the New York Times COVID map, you have Canada. It's not Canada. Canada's not even here. You have California at 819,855. Texas at 783,699. You have Florida at 706,508. New York at 463,369, which there are clusters in Brooklyn and Queens. That's why some of the numbers are kind of like rising in New York. You have Georgia at 301,485. Illinois at 296,935. Arizona 218,511. North Carolina at 210,986. New Jersey at 207,062, and they see rising cases as well. And Tennessee runs at the top 10 with 193,357. Of course, no national plan. Are we shocked, everyone? Nah. I want to get into the post-debate analysis here. So, people say there's not a winner. I understand people's opinion. But who I think won because they brought substance to the debate is, of course, the former Vice President of the United States. Whether you like him or not, he looked into the camera. He addressed the people. He's not using people's vote. He's being authentically him, as he was when he was the Vice President to the first African American president. There is a reason why President Obama picked Joe Biden. And now that Joe Biden is running to be the commander-in-chief, which he will be a much better commander-in-chief than the shit that we have now, There's a lot of attacks coming up at him. Donald Trump was trying to kneecap. With the crime bill, he was trying to kneecap. Still didn't work. Because the First Step Act is not fully invoked. That was passed by the Senate, which was introduced in 2015 by Dick Durbin and I believe Hakeem Jeffries. And it wasn't passed because Mitch McConnell did not want to pass that. None whatsoever. Are we shocked, everyone? I'm not shocked. Not one bit. No. But, however, Joe Biden did do good with substance. Chris Wallace, on the other hand, could have done a much better job. Trump was off the handles. He flew off the handles. He was out of control. And you need someone that is strong to deal with that. Not saying Chris Wallace is a strong guy, because Chris Wallace is one of the last credible journalists at Fox. Kudos to him for all those jackasses he had to work with every single day and to look in their fucking face. Because if I was him, I would have quit a long time ago. But kudos to him. He's a soldier for doing that. But I just feel like he could have had a much better handle on Donald Trump. He could have at least had his mic cut off. Biden, on the other hand, was trying to give his clear vision of America. You can't do that when you have a raging jackass who's basically portrayed as a crackhead, who was acting like he was on something to stop him. He was trying to kneecap and trying to draw attention to him, but he drew attention to himself in the worst fucking way. And that's how I looked at it. I looked at it like Joe Biden is really my commander-in-chief. I'm ready to call him Mr. President instead of Mr. Vice President. Because I know he was the vice president to the first African-American president. But at this point, I want to call him Mr. President, because I don't call Donald Trump president, none whatsoever. He don't deserve that. He is the Queen's sewage rat from Forest Hills. And he makes Forest Hills look bad because there's actually good people that come out of Forest Hills. That's actually pretty damn successful. And apparently he ain't. And I always knew about his tax. I always knew about his financial dealings because it was always shaky. He always had his name on shit, but don't pay for shit. And don't own shit. Are we surprised? No. If you're a New Yorker, Northern New Jersey person, or Southern Connecticut person, you know Donald Trump. Just saying. So, that was my take on that. But I want to draw attention to a much needed issue, and that is the Breonna Taylor case. So according to CBS News, Kentucky Attorney General says he never recommended murder charges in Breonna Taylor's case. So I'm going to just read the article. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron said Tuesday that he never recommended murder charges against police officers for Breonna Taylor's death. I'm not shocked at all. The grand jury handed down to no charges in connection with Taylor's death. Ultimately, our judgment is that the charge that we could prove at the trial beyond a reasonable doubt was for wanton endangerment against Mr. Hankerson. Cameron said in an exclusive interview with WDRB-TV. I'm assuming that's a local station in Kentucky. Former Detective Brett Hankerson faces 3 counts of wanton endangerment for shots fired into a neighbor's apartment. He pleaded not guilty on Monday, but not the murder of Breonna Taylor nor the black residents in wanton endangerment in her apartment complex. The other 2 officers who fired the shots at Taylor, including the one that killed her, Miles Cruisegrove and Jonathan Mattingly, were not indicted on any charges and remain on the force. Sounds like an Anthony Pantaleo thing that happened with Eric Garner. Okay. Cameron said, while some demanding accountability against the officers feel justice was not served, he says the facts won out. I don't know what that means, but whatever. I cannot fashion the facts in such a way to meet a narrative that in many ways had already been put out there before the facts had been put out there. Okay. Taylor's family attorney general Ben Crump said the upcoming release of the grand jury recordings is one step towards justice. We continue to ask for full transparency. We at least want to know that it's equal justice under the law for Black people as victims. Not only Black people are accused of crimes. That's what Benjamin Crump said. Cameron asked a judge Wednesday for another week to provide the recordings, saying he needed time to redact identifiable information of witnesses, aka he don't want anybody to see the shit. One of the jurors is asking for permission to speak publicly and says they want to talk about what might not be in the recordings. Possible charges and defendants not presented to them. Hint, hint. The attorney for the anonymous juror said his client felt compelled to take action based on how Cameron presented the grand jury findings that week. My client wants to make sure that anything that happens in there because something of a public knowledge to extent that is legally allowed to, Kevin Glover said at a press conference. When CBS News correspondent Adriana Diaz asked if releasing the filings could set a precedent where grand jurors won't be able to trust that proceedings remain private, Glover said it would be more dangerous to set a precedent to not disclose everything to the public eye they're allowed to. Yvette Gentry, Louisville incoming interim police chief and the first woman in that role, said one of the first orders of business is to regain trust from the public. I know you have to acknowledge that some of the reasons why they don't trust is because some of the basic information has been screwed, she said. And I understand what it feels to be angry and naturalized and upset, but both from what the protesters are feeling and the officers as well. The grand jury is requested to speak out only what wants recording to be released. They also petitioned to the court to release all transcripts and reports. There is no timeline for when a judge might rule on the grand jury's request, but their attorney said he is hopeful that will happen in weeks. So I know I kind of stumbled, but are we surprised? No. And I know I don't have any much viewership, but I'm not surprised. Not one bit. Daniel Cameron is trying to appease, and I'm going to use this loosely, the Proud Boys of the Republican Party. The old white male Republican elite. He wants to get on the Supreme Court. I think that was promised to him when Clarence Thomas retires under Donald Trump's leadership. I don't know if that's going to happen. Giving his bad judgment on this case and giving the statements on this case, given the fact that he was not going to release the recordings or intent to even, more so, he was not going to charge those cops for Breonna Taylor's murder, proves right there he's not worthy of that position or even becoming a Supreme Court justice in the future. He may have some kind of future in the Republican Party, but it won't get that far. People will remember this. And Daniel Cameron just named himself the Black Bull Connor of the 21st century. Literally, the Black Bull Connor. And as Tamika Malley said, my fellow Bronx native who is an activist, he is not our kinfolk. Just because you share the same skin color, you are not our kinfolk. So, as I say this candidly again, nigga tough break, you might lose your job. But as I end this tonight, this is the reason why we have to vote. This is the reason why you can't sit on the sidelines in elections, because you have deplorable ass motherfuckers like Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, and people on the local level like Daniel Cameron, like what's his face, Ron DeSantis, Brian Kemp, Mike Ducey, Mike Parsons, Governor Mike DeWine. All of these motherfuckers that are deplorable in these positions. Take note. Take note. But again, you guys, you have a good night. See you tomorrow.